Diamond in the rough, you look as good as maybe. Caesar. Is it tricking if she really let's just check it out. Save the birthday from yourself. Back home, I know president. What's going on, y'all? Coming to you live on Takeover Tuesday here, covering the NBA slate, where we have the Heat taking on the Hornets. The Hornets did compete in our last outing. We did cash on them. Was the complete opposite of what the Spurs gave us. What a stinky line that was, man. I think that line got the whole world. You saw that the Spurs have the better bench players. Spurs were rolling out their starters. They only played for about 10 minutes. They benched them, and the Nuggets just outperformed them. Obviously, that just looked like a complete tank job there with the Spurs. I don't know what that was, but the line smelled from the jump. To have Jokic at plus money at 20 points, that's a joke. It's telling you something's going on inside that game. And we still went that route. You know, sometimes when you see things like that, it's just better to stay off a line that smells. Not just don't jump into the shit. We jumped in the shit on that Spurs game, but I will tell you tonight, we're not going to jump into any shit because we have arrived, guys. We've arrived at the playoffs. It is the time of year where we absolutely cash because we know what players are playing. We don't have to worry about limited minutes. We don't have to worry about any of that type of stuff. It's going to be full go tonight. This is a win or go home type of game. So, guys, we're going to get the best out of these guys tonight, defensively and offensively. But what's great about the brand of basketball we're going to see tonight is the defense change, the calls change. You know, you're not going to see Bam Adebayo get 83 off of free throws in the playoffs. That's not going to fucking happen. You know what I mean? They were calling the weakest whistles when he got that 83. Tonight, we're going to see some physicality. We'll see how these teams react, especially a young team like the Charlotte Hornets. How are they going to react to that type of physicality? With that said, guys, I'm ready to dive into this thing, find a couple player props with you, and go from there. Once again, on the ball spreads prediction show coming to you live on Takeover Tuesday, where we have the NBA playoffs. I'll be covering these two games here. And I may do a pre-recorded show for MLB, or I might just wait to do that on the Instagram Live today at 5. All right, let's dive into it. Let's go. All right, guys, like I was just talking to you guys, we have the Charlotte Hornets taking on the Miami Heat tonight out here in Charlotte. And big fan of this game. I think we're in for a good one here. The thing is the -6, right? Like, I don't know if I can lay 6 points in this spot with the Hornets. Like, I think this is going to be a close game. I think this comes down to the wire. I think these teams match up well. I'm going to have to take the +6 here with the Heat. I want the Hornets to win. I want to have them to win. I've got a future bet on them to make the playoffs, so they need to win this game. Um, you know, that's my take on it. You know, and I don't know. I don't know if my future bet cashes or not. You know, doesn't cash. These things about the futures, they don't cash until either they're eliminated or the championship game is over. But I did take these guys to make the playoffs way back before the All-Star break. And I also sprinkled a little bit on the Bucks. They didn't turn the corner like I was hoping. Giannis never got healthy. Giannis never got healthy. And then obviously I told you guys I've got a future for the Spurs to win it all. So I think the Spurs do win the championship. We'll see. They're with their bench players not being able to beat the Nuggets the other day. It's concerning. Or that's just a straight tank job, which is what I lean more towards. It was a rigged game from the jump, guys. +6 Miami. That's the route I'm going to have to go. Miami's on a two-game win streak. Hornets on a 1-game win streak. Look, this is my take on it here. My take on it is they match up really well. If you want to go through the lineup and just take a quick look, you got LaMelo Ball, Brandon Miller. You got Tyler Hero and Norman Powell that can match up with them. Yes, Miller and Ball are much bigger, but I personally believe Norman Powell's got the physicality to bother one of those two guys. Bam Adebayo, you know, he's going to be the X factor in this game, in my opinion, because look, I think Miles Bridges might match up on him some. But Miles Bridges is undersized compared to Bam Adebayo, right? You could put Kalkbrenner on him, but I think Kalkbrenner's just not physical enough to play with Bam Adebayo. And Bam Adebayo's not a physical player, but he's still a lot stronger and athletic than Kalkbrenner. And then you got these are the other two guys. These are the sleepers here. You got Kobe White, Andrew Wiggins, and Jaime Jaquez. Jaime Jaquez and Andrew Wiggins for the Heat. They could be in a real sneaky spot here where they could drop 15 and get you 4 to 6 rebounds and some assists, have a really sharp outing and be a great role player. I think it's the same spot Concanuple's in, right? Like, what type of Concanuple do we get tonight? You know, what type of Musa Diabate do we get tonight? Do we get a Musa Diabate that controls the glass? Do we get a Concanuple that's stroking threes and rebounding the ball? So, like, to me, that those three guys, Musa Diabate, Kobe White, and who did I just say? Concanuple. Those three guys right there outside of LaMelo Ball and Brandon Miller are the X factors. Like, they're going to decide if they cover that 6 points or not. And it's the same with Jaime Jaquez, Pelly Larson, and Andrew Wiggins, in my opinion. Those guys are going to decide if they cover the spread. So I want the Miami Heat +6 in my pocket here. I don't want to mess around with a playoff setting environment. I know they're in Charlotte. That place is going to be lit. Dude, part of me wants to jump on a plane right now and fucking get down there. I used to live in Charlotte. Used to live right there in Uptown. I could walk to the stadium. I would go all the time. Um, I miss that city. What a great city fucking Charlotte is. If you've been in Charlotte, drop some of your favorite stuff in the comments about Charlotte, and your leans on NBA tonight. Video will be posted later as well. So I encourage you guys to interact with this. All right, man. That's where I'm at +6. Let's find 2 player props we might like out of this one. The DFS has given us a couple things here. It's telling us Bam Adebayo points and rebounds roughly around 30 tonight. Jaime Jaquez for about 12 to 13 on points. For that Jaime Jaquez line, I might want to stay off that one for the 12.5. I do think he's going to be an X factor tonight, but I'm not sure if I love that one. Davion Mitchell's been seeing limited minutes. He's been seeing limited time as compared to what he had in the past. He does assist the ball very well. I do want to take a look at that line because he's typically always in, last game he only had 1 assist, I believe. Like, let's just take a look. Assists. It doesn't even show for his last game, right? Because he played on the 12th, so maybe they voided that out. They're not counting it. Um, yeah, they shouldn't count any fucking stats from the 12th, the way all those guys played across the board. All right. Look, he's got 11, 6, 6, 7, 5, 8, 4, 3, 3, 9. They're telling you to take him for 6. He's at -144 on FanDuel for that. He's underperforming the market expectations a little bit here. He's got a 40% hit rate on his assists over the last couple games, but his lines have been higher. If you look, 6.5, 5.5 he missed, 4.5, 9.5, 8.5. This is a 4. This is a 5.5 line tonight to get 6. Um, this probably isn't my favorite, but this is one to keep an eye out on. I think we're going to see more Tyler Hero and Norman Powell in the guard spots and Davion Mitchell, but he's still going to get his minutes. Brandon Miller, obviously Brandon Miller should be good for 13. He should get 20 tonight. If Brandon Miller doesn't get 20 tonight, that's a problem. Miles Bridges might be the look here, guys, and I'm going to tell you why here in a second. So Brandon Miller has, just off of points, let's take a look here. Last 10, he's hitting about 50%. 19, he killed us on this one. This was the cash of parlay right here. He needed 20, and we had him for, he got us 19. But he's missed the last 2 games. He got you 20 here. He's only cleared his line twice out of the last 5, right? Trend would say he would hit it tonight. The trend would say he would hit it tonight. If you kind of look at the way his percentages have been going, his usage. But obviously, the number one scoring options turned into LaMelo Ball. They're recommending a lot with him tonight. I really like the points and assists with LaMelo Ball. I know it's probably inflated at the moment due to how well he has played with, over the course of the last, I don't know, 15 games. The guy's been pretty lights out. Pretty much almost all season long, the guy's been pretty lights out. His line's 31.5 today on the points and assists. His average line is 27.5. His actual average is right around 29. So they did juice it a little bit over here on FanDuel at 31.5. I don't know if I love that because that kind of forces him to, he's got to have a 25-8 game. He's got to have a 25.8 assist outing. I don't necessarily know if I love that spot for him. Maybe I like him a little bit more on the points on the over, the 22.5. I think that's the side I lean a little bit more with LaMelo Ball today is the 22.5 on the over. That seems like there's a clear edge there. If you just look at his games, even the ones he underperformed, he's still right there at 20. He only had really 2 bad games here out of the last 10 where he truly underperformed that number. And when I say, hey, listen, I want to take when somebody sets a line, how often do they exceed that line? It's my 20% rule. What that means is four points is 20% of 20, right? So I would want to see that he hits 24 points. Well, they got him at 22 tonight, so let's call it 25. I'd want to see that he hits 25 points consistently more than he hits this number like 15 right here or even 18. Like, so he's hit these, that's 3 right there. Then 18, 15, 14, that would disqualify him from our rule. It's 3 and 3. So then we got to look at these numbers. He's right on it. Like, that's why the number is 22.5. I don't think there's a clear edge on that LaMelo Ball for over 22.5. I do like him tonight. I think he does have a good game. And his threes, he's been shooting the ball really well. Even on the games he didn't score all that well, he's still getting you 3 threes. So that's a spot to look as well. LaMelo Ball in the 22.5. I'll take the over. But let's go to Miles Bridges here. This is for out of Charlotte. This is one of the players I like a lot here. My mouse is frozen. I got no clue why. Let's see what's going on with it. Could be the internet. Bear with me, guys. Technical difficulties. That's what happens when you come live. There we go. All right, it's up and running again. Once again, we're going to jump into Miles Bridges here. A couple different reasons why I wanted to go over it here with you. And let's take a look. All right, hit rate on Miles Bridges. His points and rebounds, I agree. There's a lot of value there on the points and rebounds here with Miles Bridges. Couple reasons why. Couple reasons why. Miles Bridges, he's involved. He's not involved in the offense as much as he's involved in being a role player. And I think when you have to be a role player, you have to look towards what can you impact, and that's like rebounding, steals, things of that nature. He's covered this here in this middle part of the middle part of March, early part of April. He was covering these lines. Last couple games been a downslide, but these last couple games has been hard to say what the teams are doing. Are they resting guys? Are they competing? What do they want to do? But for me, in this spot, I like the under tonight kind of on Miles Bridges, in all honesty, on his points. They got it at 15 and a half. He's been underperforming. He's not really like a big spot in the offense. So like if you wanted to take him for points, you could take him for points. But honestly, it's his PRA. Like they have his PRA at 23 and a half. Let's just dive into that real quick. There is value there. Because look, he rebounds. He's rebound and assist the ball, right? Like you could go under on the points, and he could still get you, you know, um, let's call it 6 rebounds. And I mean, what's his average assist been lately? Like, I don't even see his assists right here. His average assist line has been 2.7, and his rebounds have been 5.6. So he could easily get you 7 off of that. And then you would need a 15-point plus game from him still for him to cover that line. Uh, so he's going to be right around his numbers tonight. I don't disagree that there's value here, but they're showing points and assists having the true edge in this one. And I'm going to look at that line with you guys. Points and assists, they've got it at 18 and a half. We all know that he's capable of doing this number. He averages right around 3 assists. Um, I believe that that's a very good line. I do think there is an edge there. It should have right around a 50% hit rate. So I would say your looks for Miles Bridges tonight should be the points and assists or the points and rebounds. But right now, still out of this game, I kind of like LaMelo Ball for the 20 over 22 and a half points more than anything at the moment. All right. And then, typically sometimes we have some stuff coming over here for the suspects. But always take a look at the DFS stuff. This is very consistent. We know that these guys are going to get it. I do believe Musa Diabate does get 8 rebounds tonight. Obviously, he's recommending you 20 points, 18 to 20 for LaMelo Ball. We know that's a given because we like him for 23. All right. So, guys, 2 player props that I really like out of this Miami game here, and we'll get to it. Pelly Larson. Give me my boy Pelly Larson here. We're going to go with him here on the points and rebound side of things. They got him at 13.5 for points and rebounds. I think the question is, does he get the minutes? Does he get restricted at all in minutes or whatnot? I don't believe so. He's been a centerpiece for him. I think he's a bright spot. They have his line at 13.5. I like Pelly Larson tonight for that on his PRA. Now let's just jump on down here and take a look at Pelly Larson. Unless he's sitting, no, I don't see his name on here. Don't know why. My mouse is fucking up again. Unreal. Unfucking real. My mouse is messing up. I don't see Pelly Larson on here. Where's my boy? Oh, there he is. I was looking at the wrong side. That's why. Man, I need to go have a coffee. Come on, man. My mouse is all fucked up right now, not working. There we go. All right, here we go. I'm looking for Pelly Larson. I was on the wrong side. Yeah, there he is. All right, man. I was just saying I really liked him on his points and rebounds, right? There's value there. They already said it. I haven't even dove into this like that yet. Look, it's outperforming the market. There's my favorite play of the day. 13.5 out of the player props. He's missed that 2 times right there with the line at 14.5. And there was a sequence there where he was getting more minutes and he was getting a higher line average as well. Now, if you look, his line average is 15.5. He's typically averaging right around 16.5 when he's getting this line, points and rebounds. Look, this is the thing. Playoffs, some of these role players are going to see less minutes. So the books react and they say, we're going to take back the stats a little bit. We're not going to juice the line. What we're going to do is we're going to juice Tyler Hero. We're going to juice LaMelo Ball. We're going to juice Brandon Miller. We're going to pull back the lines on the role players, assuming they're going to get less minutes. This is a guy I don't believe is going to get less minutes. I believe he's a true staple in this offense, and I want my money on this play involved in some type of favorite parlay. So, guys, 2 plays that I really like. I would just say go ahead. Don't worry about the hook points there at 22.5 with LaMelo Ball. Just take LaMelo Ball for 20 points. Go ahead and take Pelly Larson for 22, or not 22, 13.5 on the over for points and rebounds. And then you could do something maybe with Concanuple for 3 threes. I think Concanuple has to shoot the ball well for these guys to be relevant tonight. So with that said, if you want to look at Concanuple's threes, he hits at about a 50% rate. He hasn't shot the ball great that well over these last 3, 2, 3, and 1, but 3, 4, 0, 1, 3, 6, 4. When he shoots it well, he gets going. I think there's an edge there for him tonight to shoot 3 threes. But I'm not saying go and crush that one. That's just a spot to look. But we're going to go Pelly Larson. We're going to go with LaMelo Ball. All right, into the Portland game, guys. Only 2 games to talk about, so I want to make sure that we're using the app. We're on Blowout alert. We're looking at everything. We're understanding how it works. We can click on the plus money sign. We can look at their hit rate. We can go in here and see how everything breaks down, previous games. We can see how it's performing, how this line is performing with the market. We can look and see what the hit rate is, all of those things. I want you guys definitely making sure you're dialing in here and looking at all options, understanding how the app works, what the breakdown looks like, what does Denny's shot profile look like. He takes 41% of his shots at the rim, right? So he's not much of a mid-range guy. He's either at the rim or he's a three-point shooter. So when you're looking for Denny, what is it that they're good at defending? Are the Suns better at defending the three, or are they better at giving up points in the paint? You know what I mean? And that's something that you have to be able to take a look at when you're diving in here and see what it is. So uh, he's a great mixed bag, and that's what I love about him. Is Denny can get you both ways from the 3-point line, and he can get you in the paint. So with that said, guys, let's dive into this one here. You got the Suns laying 3, Blazers getting 3. This line doesn't really scare me too much, guys, to be honest with you. You got a fairly healthy squad here. Jeremiah Grant's out, but probable, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Everybody's fucking playing, dude. It's a playing game here. Give me the Suns -3. I know the Suns have been slumping a little bit. They haven't looked like the Suns that we knew earlier in the season. This Portland team's been peaking, but they're in Phoenix. Devin Booker's on the floor, Grayson Allen, Dylan Booker, Mark Williams, Royce O'Neal. Just the list goes on. I love this team. This Suns team was printing money for us earlier in the season. They did cool off later, later on. They're 25-16 at home. They have a much better record than they do on the road. I think this is an important spot for them that they got the home playing game. To me, this is an easy one. I like the Suns -3. I'm going to take that. I'm going to lay it. And yeah, let's jump into the player props real quick and see what we got. It's this Kamara for 13 points. You know, Kamara does get you right around 15. If you want to dive in here and take a look at it, there is an edge on his points here tonight. And I kind of would agree with that. I think in a playoff setting, he's going to look to score the ball a little bit more. Um, I also think that you could maybe look at his potential points and rebounds a little bit. Um, Reason being is he rebounds the ball fairly well. So, like, if you take the points and rebounds at 18 and a half, and he doesn't get you the 15, he could still get you 5 or 6 rebounds. He doesn't average that, he gets right around 5 rebounds. So there is an edge though here, especially out of the last 10. If you look what he's been doing on his points, he's been scoring the ball really well. So in a playoff setting game tonight, they also think there's an edge on the three. It looks like he's going to be shooting the three a little bit better. Give me, and it's hard to say because they got some really good perimeter defenders. So when you're taking a guard against the Suns, I think there's a vulnerability there. I think I like Donovan Clingan tonight more than I would like some of the guard play off of the Blazers, just because the Suns do have some good defenders out there with Dylan Brooks, Jalen Green, Grayson Allen, Colin Gillespie. So in this spot here, I think I want to take the 13 and a half on the over with Kamara. I will say that seems like a pretty clear edge. His average line is 12. His average actual is 14 and a half. He's about 2 points in the clear for outperforming the market. And I would agree with that one. Give me the 13 and a half on the over with Kamara. So that's a great look there by the app. Scoot Henderson, man, this guy, he can get it for you any way you want. He matches up really well with these guys. His minutes projection is middle, and overall, this is a good spot to look for Scoot. I think there's going to be some value over here on the Portland Trailblazer side tonight, and they're also recommending points here. And I'm going to go take a look here on FanDuel. They've got him at 12 and a half. Honestly, that might be the better look, to be honest with you guys. Scoot Henderson might be the better look than Kamara, honestly, in this spot. I know he had 9 last game, 2018, 14, 15. Like, this is a clear edge to me. I know that it's showing you here, hey, he averages 14 and his average line is 13 and a half. Well, right now on FanDuel, it's 12 and a half. Like, if you're giving me 12 and a half and he normally is right around 15 points, you're giving me a 3-point edge. There's definitely an edge there with Scoot Henderson. So Scoot Henderson, Kamara, both for let's call it 15 points. There's definitely some clear advantage right there. And then we got our boy over here, Donovan Clingan. He matches up really well with these guys. 24 out of 30 minutes projection. I believe that's short. He'll get more minutes than that. Um, Over the last couple games, Clingan has played really well. I've liked what I've seen out of him. He's been in double digits for 4 straight games. I think we see another double-double type game with Clingan tonight. I think double-double for Clingan is almost an automatic lock today. He's going to rebound the ball really well. He's going to get you 12 rebounds tonight. There's no doubt about that in my mind. There's good value there. 14 is the question mark. Can he get you 14? He hasn't had 14 in the last 5 games. But with that said, he's got to step up and control the glass at a higher rate. I don't think 14 rebounds are in play tonight, but I do believe 12 rebounds are in play for Donovan Clingan tonight. So give me Clingan for 12 rebounds. They have his rebound line. I don't see where they have it set at the moment. It's just alt rebounds here on FanDuel for him at the moment. And I like him for 12 at -184. You could take that. Donovan Clingan also for blocks is a spot to look at. You could take him for 2 blocks at -114. He's going to have to protect the rim tonight in order for these guys to have a chance to win it. But once again, I don't think they do. But it should still be a really competitive game. These play-in games year after year have shown us, guys, that they've shown us that they can be competitive. Like that they're sometimes the better game out of the first rounds. Like, I think last year's playing game was better than almost any games we saw in the first fucking rounds. So I'm curious to see how today's go. Drew Holiday assist, always a good spot for Drew Holiday. Let's go take a look at that real fast. Drew Holiday here, hit rate on the assist. Only 40% hit rate here recently. He has been under that line, as you can see. He did have that little stretch there, but overall, I'm going to fade that spot. I'm not looking for Drew Holiday here on assists. Let's see if we can get some Suns here. What Sun players are they got recommended? I'm not even going to try and say that name, guys. Not even going to try and say that name. Not giving us a lot of recommendations here out for the Suns out of DFS. So let's go fucking sharp hunting, guys. Sharp hunting, and that's what we want to do. My mouse is continuing to fuck up. I guess I need new batteries or something. Let's see. Oh, need new batteries. Hit this little thing here real quick. See what we got going. See if we can have a day. It's just not working, guys. Sorry, guys. Sorry for the technical difficulties today with the mouse. I will get it up and running. I might just need a new mouse. Shit not working. There we go. All right, we're working. We're up and running again. Okay. Appreciate you bearing with me on the 2-game stretch here. And we're running a little bit longer than I normally like to run here. So we need to get this fucking thing wrapped up. Okay, Devin Booker, dive in, matchup. He's played pretty well against this team in the past, guys. He's had one truly bad game. He drops buckets on this squad. He assists the ball well. This is a PRA spot tonight for Devin Booker. Go ahead and take a look at it. Let me show you right here. Devin Booker, PRA value, 55%. His line tonight on FanDuel. Let's take a quick peek because Devin Booker's going to have a big game here tonight. He can't sit back and be the quiet guy tonight. He's going to have to step up and really win this thing for this team, for the Suns. I just don't think Jalen Green has the offensive capacity to do it. The Rockets would have kept him if they thought he had the ability to do it night in and night out. He showed us last year in the playoffs with the Rockets he couldn't get it done. And I wouldn't trust Jalen Green to be able to get it done here tonight either. So, um, as I say that, he probably have a big game tonight. But with Devin Booker here, look, his line for points and rebounds and assists is at 36.5. I think they're pretty they're good. They're good. Vegas is fucking good. They know that his average line is 35.9. His actual is 38.5. I still think there's an advantage there. Um, because if he's going to have a big game, I think the PRA is going to be at like 42, 43. So I'm going to go ahead and take that Devin Booker for 36.5. That looks good to me. I told you guys I like Clinigan already for 12 rebounds. I like him for a double-double, honestly, but I'm going to go Clinigan 12 rebounds as well. And then we were talking about Scoot Henderson. I'm going to take Scoot Henderson on the over for his points as well. That's another spot that I really like tonight. And yeah, and that pretty much wraps up where I'm at on my plays here as far as the playoffs go. I'm going to take the Suns -3. I'm going to take the Heat +6. I like a couple of these player props. I think Donovan Clinigan's definitely a double-double guy tonight. Give me Devin Booker on the over 36.5. Give me LaMelo Ball for 20 points. And I really like, what was that play that I was really liking out of Charlotte? I wanted to say it was the Pelly Larson play. I think it was like 13.5 on the points and rebounds. I liked that one a lot. So yeah, Pelly Larson 13.5 on the rebounds, points and rebounds. LaMelo Ball for 20. Um, and then we could go with the Devin Booker at over 36.5 points, rebounds, assists. Donovan Clinigan for a double-double. So we got some really good options tonight out of these games. So let's go attack it. Let's win the day. MLB will be up next. Let's have a fucking day. Let's cash something. It's Takeover Tuesday. Fuck the books. Let's go. See y'all next time.